Most men think performance is decided in the heat of the moment. But what if I told you it is decided hours before, in the quiet darkness of your bedroom, when no one is watching and your body is preparing for intimacy long before you even touch her? What you do with your body at night, how you calm it, how you nourish it, how you awaken circulation and confidence, can quietly transform not only your stamina, but the way she feels in your presence. There is a nighttime oil routine that has been whispered about for generations, not as a miracle trick, but as a ritual of masculine awareness. And if you understand how to use it correctly, it can shift your energy, your endurance, and the subtle confidence that makes intimacy unforgettable. The truth about male performance is that it is deeply connected to blood flow, nerve sensitivity, hormonal balance, stress levels, and psychological readiness, and most men only focus on the last 5 minutes before intimacy instead of the hours that shape their physical response. A nighttime oil routine works because night is when the body repairs itself, when testosterone production naturally rises during deep sleep, when tissues regenerate, and when the nervous system resets. Applying the right oil with intention is not about fantasy or exaggerated promises. It is about enhancing circulation, relaxing tension stored in the pelvic floor, and strengthening the mind-body connection that many men unknowingly neglect. When warm oil touches the skin, especially around the inner thighs, lower abdomen, and pelvic region, it increases localized blood flow and gently stimulates nerve endings. This improved circulation supports erectile quality over time because erections are fundamentally vascular events dependent on healthy arteries and responsive tissue. Oils such as cold-pressed sesame oil have been used in traditional wellness systems because they penetrate deeply and create warmth, while coconut oil provides soothing hydration and reduces friction sensitivity issues caused by dryness or irritation. Some men incorporate a few drops of black seed oil or olive oil for their antioxidant properties, which may support tissue health when used externally with gentle massage. The key is warmth and intention, not aggression. Before applying any oil, you warm it slightly by placing the container in hot water for a few minutes, never overheating it, just enough so that when it touches your skin, it feels comforting rather than shocking. Then you begin slow circular motions around the lower abdomen, moving clockwise, breathing deeply as you do. This breathing is not optional. Deep diaphragmatic breathing increases oxygen flow, reduces cortisol, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the system responsible for relaxation and arousal readiness. Many performance issues are not physical weakness, but nervous system overload. When a man is stressed, anxious, or mentally distracted, blood is diverted away from reproductive organs toward survival systems. Nighttime oil massage counters that by signaling safety to the body. As you massage the inner thighs and the base of the pelvis, you are stimulating major blood vessels that supply the genital region. Gentle, consistent pressure over time can improve vascular responsiveness. It is important to understand that this is not about excessive friction or chasing immediate arousal. In fact, the goal is the opposite. You are training your body to respond calmly rather than urgently. When you massage slowly without rushing toward climax, you strengthen control. You teach your nervous system that stimulation does not require instant release. Over weeks, this can translate into better stamina because your body becomes familiar with sensation without panicking toward completion. Another powerful element of this nighttime routine is pelvic floor awareness. During the massage, you lightly contract and release the pelvic muscles, similar to controlled Kegel exercises, synchronizing them with your breath. This strengthens the muscles responsible for erection firmness and ejaculatory control. Many men neglect this area entirely, yet it plays a crucial role in endurance. Combining oil massage with mindful contraction creates a feedback loop between touch and control. You begin to sense subtle differences in tension and relaxation, which later allows you to adjust your pace during intimacy instead of feeling overwhelmed. There is also a hormonal aspect to consider. Quality sleep is one of the strongest predictors of testosterone levels. When you create a calming nighttime ritual, dim lights, reduced screen exposure, warm shower, oil massage, deep breathing, you are preparing your endocrine system for optimal recovery. Chronic stress and late-night overstimulation from devices reduce testosterone over time, which directly impacts libido and performance. This routine acts as a boundary between the chaos of the day and the intimacy of the night. Psychologically, it builds anticipation. Instead of approaching intimacy from a place of doubt, you begin to feel prepared. Confidence grows not from ego, but from consistency. When you repeat a ritual nightly, your brain associates bedtime with restoration and strength. That association alone can reduce performance anxiety. Many men underestimate how much anxiety affects their response. Even a small fear of underperforming can trigger a cascade of adrenaline that interferes with erection quality. But when your body is relaxed, warm, and accustomed to mindful stimulation without pressure, it responds more naturally. An often overlooked benefit of oil massage is improved skin sensitivity balance. Overexposure to rough stimulation, whether through tight clothing, friction, or excessive intensity, can dull sensation over time. Nourishing the skin with natural oils maintains elasticity and sensitivity in a healthy way. Balanced sensitivity means you can feel pleasure clearly without being overstimulated too quickly. That balance is critical for lasting longer while still enjoying intimacy deeply. It is also important to mention that hygiene and safety matter. Always use clean hands, natural oils without artificial fragrance, and avoid any oil that causes irritation. This is a wellness ritual, not an experiment with harsh products. The consistency of the practice matters more than intensity. 10 to 15 minutes each night is sufficient. Over time, subtle improvements compound. Better sleep leads to better hormone regulation. Better circulation leads to stronger responses. Better pelvic control leads to longer endurance. And perhaps most importantly, better self-awareness leads to better connection with your partner. Because true performance is not about mechanical function alone. It is about presence. When a man feels grounded in his body, when he is not rushing, not anxious, not disconnected from sensation, his partner feels that stability. She senses patience. She senses confidence. She senses that he is in control without forcing control. The nighttime oil routine is not magic. It is discipline disguised as self-care. It is learning to slow down in a world that teaches you to rush. It is choosing restoration over exhaustion. And when practiced with patience, it becomes more than a routine. It becomes a foundation for stronger erections, improved stamina, deeper sleep, and a calmer, more confident masculine energy that carries into every intimate moment. This is only the beginning of understanding how this ritual can transform not just your performance, but your entire relationship with intimacy. The deeper power of this nighttime oil routine is revealed when you begin to understand timing, rhythm, and progression, because just like strength training or skill development, the body adapts in stages. And if you approach this ritual with awareness rather than impatience, you begin to unlock layers of control and sensitivity that most men never experience. After the first couple of weeks, the initial focus on circulation and relaxation begins to evolve into something more refined. Your breathing becomes slower without effort. Your hands become more intuitive, recognizing subtle areas of tension in the lower abdomen and pelvic floor that you once ignored. You start to notice how stress from the day often sits right above the groin, tightening muscles unconsciously, slightly restricting blood flow, slightly dulling responsiveness. When you massage this region with warmth and patience, you are not just stimulating tissue, you are dissolving stored tension patterns that may have accumulated for years. Advanced practice involves synchronizing breath, muscle engagement, and touch in a controlled sequence. As you inhale deeply through the nose, expanding the belly rather than lifting the chest, you gently contract the pelvic floor muscles for a few seconds. As you exhale slowly through the mouth, you release the contraction completely while your hands move in slow, downward strokes along the inner thighs toward the pelvis. This coordinated pattern trains neuromuscular control. Over time, you gain the ability to separate arousal from urgency. Many men experience performance challenges not because of weak desire, but because their arousal spikes too quickly. The nervous system jumps from calm to climax without a stable plateau in between. This routine builds that plateau. It teaches your body to sustain sensation without tipping over the edge prematurely. There is also value in incorporating temperature contrast occasionally. After completing the warm oil massage, allowing the oil to absorb for several minutes, you can rinse lightly with lukewarm water before finishing with a brief cool splash around the inner thighs and lower abdomen. This gentle contrast can stimulate vascular elasticity, encouraging blood vessels to expand and contract efficiently. Healthy vascular responsiveness is central to erection quality. However, moderation is critical. The cool exposure should be brief and never uncomfortable. The intention is to awaken circulation, not shock the system. As your body adapts, you may also notice improvements in morning firmness, which is often a subtle indicator of hormonal balance and vascular health. Rather than chasing immediate visible changes, observe patterns across weeks. Are you waking up feeling more rested? Is your desire more consistent? Do you feel less mental pressure before intimacy? These markers are often the first signs that the routine is working. Performance enhancement is rarely explosive. It is gradual, like strengthening a muscle you did not realize was weak. Another layer of this practice involves mental conditioning. During the massage, visualize yourself calm and in control during intimate moments. Picture steady breathing, steady rhythm, mutual enjoyment. The brain does not sharply distinguish between vividly imagined rehearsal and lived experience. Athletes use visualization to improve performance, and intimacy is no different. When you repeatedly associate calmness with arousal in your mind, you reduce the likelihood of anxiety disrupting real encounters. Confidence built in private reflection carries into shared experiences. Eventually, this routine can extend beyond solo practice and become something you integrate with your partner. Not necessarily every night, but occasionally inviting her into the ritual can deepen connection. When she participates in a slow, intentional massage without expectation of immediate intercourse, it shifts intimacy from performance to presence. The focus moves away from proving stamina and toward shared relaxation. Ironically, when pressure dissolves, performance often improves naturally. A partner who feels included in your wellness practice may also feel more emotionally connected, which strengthens overall sexual chemistry. Emotional safety amplifies physical responsiveness. Nutrition and hydration amplify the effectiveness of this nighttime routine as well. Healthy fats, adequate water intake, and reduced alcohol consumption support circulation and hormonal balance. Excess alcohol in particular disrupts sleep cycles and reduces testosterone production, undermining the very repair process you are trying to enhance. If you commit to the oil routine but sabotage your sleep with late-night scrolling or heavy drinking, you limit its impact. The ritual works best as part of a larger lifestyle shift toward restorative habits. Consistency remains the cornerstone. Missing a night occasionally is not failure, but abandoning the practice whenever results are not instant prevents adaptation. The body responds to patterns. After several weeks, you may feel a deeper sense of ownership over your arousal. Instead of feeling like intimacy controls you, you control the pace of intimacy. That shift is subtle, but powerful. It transforms not only bedroom performance, but also self-perception. You begin to see yourself as disciplined, attentive, capable of long-term improvement, rather than dependent on quick fixes. It is also important to understand realistic expectations. This routine supports healthy function, but it does not replace medical care for underlying conditions such as diabetes, severe cardiovascular disease, or clinically low testosterone. If persistent dysfunction exists, professional evaluation is essential. The oil routine is a complementary practice, not a substitute for necessary treatment. That distinction reflects maturity and responsibility, qualities that are deeply attractive in themselves. As you refine the ritual, you may experiment with adding calming elements like soft lighting, minimal background noise, or even short meditation before beginning. The less stimulation from screens and external distractions, the more effectively your nervous system transitions into restorative mode. Night becomes sacred rather than chaotic, and when the night becomes restorative, the day feels stronger. What makes this practice transformative is not simply the physical act of applying oil, but the mindset shift it represents. You are no longer leaving your performance to chance. You are investing in your body with patience and awareness. You are strengthening circulation, calming the nervous system, training muscle control, supporting hormone production through better sleep, and building psychological resilience against anxiety. Each small session compounds into greater stability and endurance. And yet, there is still one final dimension to explore: the long-term transformation of identity and how this ritual reshapes your relationship with masculinity, desire, and intimacy itself. Over time, what began as a simple nighttime oil routine evolves into something far more profound than improved performance. It becomes a private dialogue between you and your body, a nightly reminder that strength is cultivated in silence long before it is revealed in intimacy. In the beginning, you may have approached this ritual hoping for stronger erections, longer stamina, or more consistent desire. But as weeks turn into months, the deeper transformation reveals itself in how you carry your energy. You walk differently. You breathe more steadily. You approach intimacy not with urgency or fear of failure, but with a grounded certainty that your body will respond because you have been caring for it consistently. The long-term power of this practice lies in identity. When a man commits to a disciplined ritual that supports his vitality, he begins to see himself as someone who invests in his own strength. That self-perception subtly alters confidence. Confidence is not loud. It does not need to announce itself. It is felt in calm eye contact, in unhurried touch, in the ability to slow down rather than rush toward climax. Many men unknowingly operate from a mindset of scarcity during intimacy, fearing that arousal might disappear or that endurance might fail. That fear creates tension, and tension disrupts performance. But when you have spent weeks training your nervous system to relax under stimulation, that fear weakens. You have evidence from your own practice that you can sustain sensation without losing control. There is also a cumulative physiological benefit that unfolds gradually. Improved circulation from consistent massage supports vascular elasticity. Better sleep quality from a calming nighttime ritual supports hormone production and cellular repair. Strengthened pelvic floor muscles enhance firmness and control. Reduced stress lowers cortisol, which otherwise competes with testosterone and suppresses desire. These factors intertwine, reinforcing one another. Performance becomes less unpredictable because your body is functioning within a healthier baseline. You are no longer depending on adrenaline or novelty to perform. You are relying on foundation. This foundation reshapes your relationship with desire itself. Instead of seeing arousal as something that happens to you, you begin to understand it as something you can cultivate and guide. The oil routine trains awareness of subtle shifts in sensation. You learn to detect the early rise of excitement and manage it with breath and muscle control rather than allowing it to spike uncontrollably. That skill translates directly into partnered intimacy. You can match her rhythm, extend foreplay without anxiety, and remain present rather than distracted by internal calculations about how long you will last. Presence is deeply attractive because it communicates safety and attentiveness. As this practice matures, intimacy becomes less about proving something and more about sharing something. When you no longer fear your body betraying you, you are freer to focus on connection. Your partner senses this shift. She feels the difference between rushed contact and intentional touch. She notices when you are breathing steadily, when your hands move with patience rather than urgency. That calmness creates space for her own arousal to unfold naturally. In this way, your private discipline enhances shared pleasure. Another important dimension is resilience. Life will always introduce stress, fatigue, and occasional off nights. No routine can eliminate that entirely. But when you have established a consistent nighttime practice, you recover faster. One difficult day does not derail your confidence because your baseline remains strong. This resilience prevents temporary challenges from becoming psychological barriers. Many performance issues escalate because one disappointing experience plants doubt that lingers. A stable ritual anchors you, reminding you that your strength is built over time, not defined by a single moment. There is also something deeply symbolic about caring for your body in this way. The act of warming oil, dimming lights, breathing deeply, and moving slowly stands in contrast to the overstimulation of modern life. It is a reclaiming of rhythm. It signals that your body is not a machine to be demanded from at random, but a system that responds to respect and consistency. That respect enhances self-esteem beyond the bedroom. Discipline in one area often spreads into others. Better sleep habits improve mental clarity. Reduced late-night screen exposure enhances focus. Mindful breathing reduces daily irritability. All of these ripple effects contribute to a stronger overall presence. By the time months have passed, you may notice that the routine no longer feels like a task. It feels like a reset button. Even on nights when intimacy is not expected, you continue the practice because of how it makes you feel grounded. And when intimacy does arise, you enter it already prepared, already calm, already connected to your breath and body. There is no scrambling to perform. There is simply continuation of a rhythm you have been rehearsing privately. Ultimately, the nighttime oil routine is not about oil at all. It is about intentional preparation. It is about aligning circulation, hormones, muscles, and mindset into a cohesive system. It is about transforming anxiety into awareness and urgency into control. Stronger erections and improved stamina are natural outcomes, but the true reward is deeper confidence and more authentic connection. When you care for your body consistently, you send yourself a powerful message that your vitality matters. That message reshapes how you show up in every intimate moment. So remember where this journey began, in the quiet darkness before sleep, when no one was watching. In that stillness, you chose discipline over neglect, patience over quick fixes, restoration over exhaustion. And from that choice grew stronger performance, steadier confidence, and a calmer masculine presence that your partner can feel the moment you touch her. That is the full circle of this practice. It begins in solitude and blossoms in shared intimacy, proving that the most powerful transformations are built not in the spotlight, but in the quiet rituals you commit to every single night.